Hello, Casey Wilson, owner of Roseville Strength and Conditioning, and this is my broadcast partner.
Nice to finally meet you. I'm Brad Erie. It's been a while.
Yeah, Brad's been MIA.
I've been circling the seventh ring of hell.
He has.
But I'm back, kinda.
Yep. So we're going to film a few podcasts today, and we'll knock them out. So we'll have a couple podcasts coming out over the next week. First, we're going to talk some Star Wars, though, because when we haven't been around for a long time, there's so much that happens with Star Wars.
I think this is the best shot right there.
That's the best shot for the show right there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. So we haven't been around to talk Star Wars in a while. Then we have a lot to talk about.
We do.
So it's always interesting when you have these press junkets and all these interviews being done by these people that are in the movie, who made the movie, and you sit there and scratch your head and go, how are these people in charge?
Are you referring to the acolyte press corps?
I'm referring to the acolyte. I mean, I don't even blame the dumbass actors that are on there. I don't, because I don't expect, as long as an actor can go on the screen and know their lines and act like they practice their sword fighting, to do the lightsabers, and they do everything right and they make it look real. Yeah. That's all the actor really. They don't have to be a Star Wars fan. But if you're going to make it, you need to make it. Meaning you need to research. You need to know your shit. You need to be able to walk into a room of Star Wars fans, and maybe there's going to be one nerd that asks you a question that's like way out of left field. And it's like half the other nerds don't even know it. And I'm not a Star Wars nerd, but I know quite a bit.
All right. First of all, you are a Star Wars nerd.
No, because I watch stuff where I'm like going, this guy is an effing nerd, man.
Ms. Kennedy, could you tell us why on the sequel, Rey was using the fourth version of Jedi fighting when clearly she should have gone with the second form of Jedi fighting? Thank you.
Yeah. So there are people that know, so like I'll watch their stuff and I'm like, does this person spend all day long like studying like they're in college?
Yeah.
For Star Wars. I mean, there's some guys out there that are over the top, and I love them because they love Star Wars and they know their stuff. But I don't have enough time in the day. I'm on my 30th book for the year, which puts me about 30 books ahead of Leslie Headland,
and about 26 in front of me.
But I mean, since we started, probably 50 something books, and a lot of them are re-listened. I actually read the book.
Yeah.
Like 20, 25 years ago. And I'm going through the whole series. And so, I mean, it's awesome. It's so much better than anything Star Wars makes. It's the real Star Wars, in my opinion. These shows coming out, we get a nice visual. You want a real Star Wars, read the books. That's real Star Wars. It's in the spirit of George Lucas. There's so many different avenues you can go off of. I mean, the only thing that I really don't like, or I don't really get into, it's not that I don't like them, I'm sure I would, is the comic books. There is a bunch of stuff in the comic books, but I don't do the comic books. I mean, I'm not saying
you're missing out. There's some really good stuff.
I know, but unless it's something that really appeals to me, it's like I like a book because you can get in and a real story is being told.
Yeah.
And these stories should all be canon.
Yeah.
But they aren't because of people like Kathleen Kennedy, who basically just came out and said, Star Wars fans, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, it's right. There I am.
I was joking.
That is the greatest prop helmet ever.
It's pretty cool. It really fitted me well. I mean, when I put it on, I was like, oh, and my daughter and my son were like, oh, you got to get the black outfit and everything now.
I would just drive around town with that on,
you can see out of it pretty good.
Like, so you're at a stoplight and you just roll over and be like, hey.
Yeah, it's very cool. I forgot I ordered it. So like it was on pre-order for like one of those Hasbro Pulse or something. And so I bought a few things from them and I buy them on pre-order and then I forget I order them. I get a charge on my account. I'm like, what's this? And I go, oh yeah, because they don't charge you until it's ready.
Oh geez. Well, the next May the 4th,
they had a cool Boba Fett one, but I'm not as big of a Boba Fett fan. So.
I would have bought the Boba Fett.
Yeah. So anyway, Kathleen Kennedy thinks we're all male chauvinist pigs. We hate women. Leslie Headland said stuff about George Lucas didn't believe in women, and then we can start. let's name off some of the women that are the core of Star Wars.
I mean, you got what, Admiral
Oh no, that's not good. Let's
Leia?
just, well,
I mean, she was
Leia, Princess Leia, who eventually became the Supreme Chancellor, if you want to call it, but she was basically the president of the Galactic Empire.
And she's the one that kind of saved Han and Luke during A New Hope.
Who was also the head of the Galactic, or the... See, I start mixing the books because
all women.
Nobody knows the Galactic Alliance was, because if they don't read the books,
Nerd.
they don't know. But the Republic.
Yeah.
Who led the rebellion?
A woman.
No. Couldn't have been a woman, right?
No,
Mon Mothma wasn't a woman. She had a penis, right?
I mean,
no, she didn't. She had a vagina.
I never personally saw it, so she might have been trans.
No.
I mean, I don't know.
She was an attractive, family built woman.
Who was the hand?
She's even been portrayed in Andor.
I mean,
so the first start off, two of the primary leaders of the good people.
Yeah.
Were
the Republic.
What was Senator Amidala? Did she have a penis or a vagina?
I hope penis.
I hope it was right, because she is hot. I'm starting to question my sexuality. Natalie Portman played.
Yeah.
And she was a queen.
Yeah. But she died because she was fat.
Well, she died in birth,
Yeah,
you think the technological advances. No, she died of a broken heart.
Yeah, lame. But I'm sorry.
But anyway, you would think that somebody who runs a company like Lucasfilms, but Kathleen Kennedy is, instead of taking responsibility for making a bunch of crap and trying to get rid of the pure core of Star Wars, instead of taking responsibility and saying, I need to do better.
Yeah.
And maybe we should have done stuff differently. No, it's us, the fans, who spend the money.
Yeah.
Who want to consume good product, who read the books, who love the vision of George Lucas and what the galaxy far, far away is.
Yeah.
We're male chauvinist pigs that hate women. And then people like Leslie Headland and other people have came out and said George Lucas, was a misogynist and he was also a racist and all this stuff, which is ludicrous, because what are most of the things that's in Star Wars? Is Chewie...
Look, Star Wars...
Is Chewie an alien, or is he a humanoid?
He's
humanoid, I guess, because he has 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head, and a torso.
Look,
he's an alien, though, but he's not black or white, right?
Admiral Akbar, alien.
Mon Calamari.
Yeah. Calrissian, minority.
Minority, true.
I mean, George Lucas is...
You're cherry picking.
Yeah, well, I mean, come on.
What about almost every character?
I think the only people who have actually...
How many was that? What do you think? How many clone troopers were there?
A lot.
And what skin color were they?
Brown.
Yeah, they were cloned after
Jango
Fett.
So
Timora Morrison, I believe. Timora.
If my memory is correct, and this is a little bit shady, so feel free to correct me. The only people in all of Star Wars films that have ever been discriminated against was droids. Because we don't serve their kind here.
That's right, because of everything.
They didn't say, we'll take everyone but them Chewbacca folks. No, only the droids. So I admit, I'm droidist. Yeah. I mean, other than R2-D2 and C-3PO.
For Kathleen Kennedy, the president of Lucasfilms, why she still is,
you got my hopes up.
I researched, and there's no news out. If she hasn't been extended in a contract, I haven't found any of that. Why is she still in charge? I thought her contract was up in May. That's what I heard. Several people come out and say that her contract was up in May. And why is this woman still in charge? And you know what? They can bring another woman in if that woman knows what Star Wars is and follows the tenets that George Lucas put out there and wants to make good freaking TV and not have an ego and be a narcissistic ass and try to do their own thing.
Tell us how you feel, man. Let it loose.
She's going to come out. Do you have a daughter?
I do.
Does your wife run your house?
Kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the most. But he's a male chauvinist pig.
I am.
us Star Wars fans, we're all male chauvinists, and we don't like anything that comes out
Android
by woman makers. Bryce Dallas Howard, she made stuff. I liked a lot of the Mandalorian stuff.
Yeah,
we want good quality, well written material.
I'm a huge Ahsoka fan.
Ahsoka, and who else is in it? Sabine Shinhati.
Oh man,
I mean, these are newer ones, so they're going, well, we made these, so now all the male chauvinists don't like them because we made them. No, I loved Ahsoka. I am so excited for season 2 of Ahsoka. I'm not excited for Acolyte.
No, I am excited for Acolyte because I'm a sucker.
I am excited to see if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
but here, let me read you a Leslie Headland thing, which anyone
I've been out of the
anyone who knows a little bit about the Darth Bane book series will be able to tell you that Leslie Headland is a piece of crap. And she acts like she's read them. I don't think so. Because listen to this. Because if you're going to make a movie and you're just come out and make comments about shit, there are certain things that happen in the prequels about the Sith and about Darth Maul and the Jedi's understanding of them that I found intriguing. Qui-Gon on Tatooine immediately knows that Darth Maul is a Sith from fighting him and then reports to the council. Well, because you know what dark side and what light side is. It's not very hard for a Jedi, especially a great Jedi.
What gave it Sith away? The red lightsaber and the look of death on him?
Duh. It's like, I'm sure these guys know history a lot better than Leslie Headland knows the history. They know the history of the Sith and the Jedi because they are actually Jedi. Then Leslie Headland coming in trying to tell us, oh, well, he immediately knew it was a Sith. No shit, Sherlock, he knew it was a Sith. What do you think? It was some Jedi dressed up in black and red and using a red lightsaber and obviously tapping in because they sense all the emotions and feelings. Do you not know what Jedis are capable of sensing?
Yeah.
Read a book or two and they'll tell you.
Or follow the guy. I sent you a bunch of reels.
Right. Yoda knows about the rule of 2. He says there is always a master and an apprentice. So while they're considered extinct, there was a little bit of knowledge about the Sith that I felt would not have come from ancient history. To me, it felt like to know the information that quickly, it would have had to been in the last 100 years. So she basically took one quote, which there's theories about why that was said.
Yeah.
You know, and because there's some stuff in some other books that basically comes out and somebody else says that too. But also, that's how the Sith always were. Even when there's a bunch of Sith, there was always a master and apprentice, and the apprentice was always trying to kill the master and become the master.
Even how I know that.
That's how all the Sith were. So
I know
she takes that comment to say, oh, they knew there was Sith in the last 100 years. They knew it. And so now what? She's going to totally screw up the whole there hasn't been a Sith seen in 1,000 years. We thought they were extinct. And try to go, no, in the last 100 years, there's a new Sith. There were Sith out there. But the Jedi Council and the Jedi did not know about them. And this is why we have to watch the show, because this could not be a Sith Lord. This could just be the guy with the red light sword and the ugly mask. I mean, it would have to be Dark Tenebris. I mean, it's pretty, the timeline only really exists for Dark Tenebris to be there. And so she's like, and that's what they keep, like, these different people, they come out and they try to act like they know Star Wars really well, and then they want to rewrite it in their own image. So we hit Kathleen Kennedy. Leslie Headland is trying to screw up what they did in the prequels and the fact that the Sith have been gone for 1,000 years.
Didn't
we all know that they were hidden for 1,000 years, building power till they got to Darth Sidious, who finally took over.
Yeah,
and we all know what happened because it was in movies, also in books, but in movies. And a lot of those movies were continuing books that were made way better than the actual movies.
Yeah,
I mean, read a book. I mean, Leslie Headland, you cannot come in and act like you know all this stuff and you're this huge Star Wars fan and then make statements to try to fit some narrative you're trying to make.
Is it fair to
the real Star Wars fans are going to go, no. Screw you.
Is it fair to say, like, I should be the floor of what a Star Wars creator knows?
You are definitely on
the floor. If
you
they
were
don't know more than me, they should automatically be wiped out. Like I should at least know less than a Star Wars creator. Like like you set the bar pretty high.
There's nerds that are way smarter than
but like me,
this guy right here knows the movies and some TV shows and a couple books that I finally got him.
Yeah,
read. That's all he knows.
That's all I know.
Like just in this year, I've read 30 books.
Yeah.
If I'm making a Star Wars movie or a TV show, I want to know everything.
Yeah.
If it was my job, I would have read 100 books already this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or I would have researched every comic book, which I don't even want to do. I would have made sure that nobody could get over on me and my idea and what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
For that show. I mean, when I went and sat down with Dave Filoni, I'm quoting him shit.
Yeah.
And he says something, I'm like, oh yeah, I already know. You know, like
you're wrong.
That's what you should
be.
The
planet and the Fliptari system.
But it doesn't matter. Number one, Leslie Headland. I've actually watched her talk and do interviews, and she seems like a very intelligent woman.
Yeah. She's
not a dummy. I do not think she is as well versed in Star Wars as she tries to lead people to believe. She's been asked several questions, was caught with her pants down. But she seems to be a smart, articulate woman.
Mm-hmm.
So I see why they want her to make stuff, and she could be good. Just if you're going to do Star Wars, do it and stick. This is why I don't understand. And now we're going to get to a man who's going to make a movie for Star Wars.
Yeah.
Which is a very good director. Has made a lot of great shit, but he's doing the same stuff as Leslie Headland, the same stuff as Kathleen Kennedy, James Mangold.
Yeah.
I was so excited for the Dawn of the Jedi. Have you heard what he said he plans on doing?
No.
He's not doing any Dawn of the Jedi book stuff. Now they're going to call it Jedi Prime, and he's making his own movie with his own backstory, his own stuff. He's making his own thing. A James Mangold movie based on Star Wars universe.
So wait a minute. You can't be saying this because one. Look at your computer. We're back. We never left.
All right. I hope not, man.
I don't see any things on there. No, it says like low signal. Come on, your signal thing. We'll just keep rolling.
The Wi-Fi would be low.
Yeah.
Pay enough for it in here. Oh, it's going back up. So we had a little interruption with the Wi-Fi.
We're just rolling.
James Mangold does not want to take a great book.
Yeah.
And there's some comic books based on it stuff too. He doesn't want any of that stuff. Just like all these other creators, they want to make their own thing, and they don't want to do anything that happened. There's already scripts that can be written. We've talked about this many times. There's
a book and
there's 50 movies that can be made off of Legends easily, just like that. I mean, each one of these books is amazing characters already developed, storylines already developed.
Mm-hmm.
You can tweak stuff. You got to make it in a screenplay. You can't put everything in the book. I get it. Now he wants to make Jedi Prime and not do anything with how the Jedis were done in Legend, created in Legend, which all of us already know. All of us are. So then you're going to come out Jedi Prime and go, this is canon. I'm going to be like, that's not the canon I follow.
Yeah.
I am really, if Kathleen Kennedy is not out very soon,
we're going to have the Star Trek. You're going to replace this with a large Kirk head.
There's going to be a Halo. There's going to be a Starship Enterprise. There's going to be everything else. There's going to be Godzilla.
It's going to be a big old Patrick Stewart right there.
You know what? We might just do podcasts on Legends, and I'll make this guy read books because that's what really gets me passionate is reading these books. Like right now, I'm reading a book. I don't want to get too into it, but where think of the storyline. Think of what happened in the sequel trilogy. That piece of crap. And Rian Johnson. I sent you that clip. I've seen it before, but I sent it to you because it was the first time I seen a clip that short.
Where Mark Hamill was
basically saying this isn't the Luke Skywalker that I played. Because they didn't want the Luke Skywalker that he played or that was developed in Legends, who was the Grand Master of a new Jedi Order.
Who would never give up on his friends. Who
had a wife and had a son. Han and Leia had Jason and Janna and Anakin Solo kids, all Jedis, all powerful Jedis. And Anakin dies in the Yuzong Vong War. And Jason now is turning to the dark side.
Spoilers!
And guess who has to kill him in the end?
Oh, man.
It ain't Luke.
Yeah.
It's his own twin sister. How can you not make the? Why would you go the sequel trilogy when you have these books already written? I'm on the third book of that series.
Yeah.
The Legacy of the Jedi. I mean, it is so good, but yet we're getting these people that don't want to do any of that. They want to act like it doesn't exist. When real Star Wars fans, not the people of Johnny Come Latelys, the younger people, the Revenge of the Jedi or whatever, and Rian Johnson was great, and I love Rey, and Finn's the best. You know what? Those are the worst written. I mean, if they were written well, let's say it was they went completely away from Legends, but it was this amazing story that was well written, that was coherent through 3 movies.
Like Rogue
Maybe
One?
2 movies. If they were coherent through 2 movies, every movie was different, and they changed stuff in it every movie, and you were going, wait a second, I thought this was this.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a complete clusterfuck, and it was Kathleen Kennedy's fault, and men's fault too. But who was in charge? Was Dave Filoni in charge of creative then?
No.
Who stuck their fingers in, and people like got guys like J.J. Abrams out, and they said, "I'm working with her. I'm going to fire him because he won't do what I want."
Can I just interrupt you for a second? I saw the greatest Star Wars movie of all time, and that was like a super cut of all the video games, 4K. Like legacy thing,
there is some good stuff out there.
And I'm like, I forget what company who made that video games, like Ubisoft or something like that.
Yeah,
I would pay them $1 billion and be like, look, you just do the legacy, do it in that,
Knights of the Old Republic.
Yes,
separate Revan movie.
Yeah,
separate Bane and a Darth Malgus movie.
Their animation, it's so well, like it is so hyper realistic that I really thought.
You know the problem? None of these people have passion for Star Wars.
They do.
It's their job. They're there. Dave Filoni does. You can tell Dave Filoni has passion. We're talking about people that work for Lucasfilms right now.
Yeah.
Leslie Headland, I would not say has passion for Star Wars. I haven't seen any passion out of her. I saw that she's really into her movie she just made.
Yeah.
But when she talks about the greater ideas of Star Wars, she was one of the people that said that George Lucas was a chauvinist.
Yeah.
She did. And when she first got the job, that I really want to bring women into it and stuff that wasn't done in the past. And I want women to be, which is the most ludicrous things.
It's crazy.
You know what's great? Do you know who Asajj Ventress is?
Huh?
She's in the Clone Wars.
I don't remember names.
They just brought her in.
I'm on the
low Bad Batch at the end.
I'm on low. I haven't watched Bad Batch yet.
Okay, anyway, there's so many characters that are women that are powerful, strong, great. And to call us who are passionate about Star Wars male chauvinists is ridiculous.
Look, I will admit, I'm a geek. I'm nerdy. I'm nasal.
I love Star Wars. I love the
pale.
and it affected me as a young man.
I could be
as a
dumb.
kid. Not even as a man. As a kid, it affected me back then.
Yeah.
And the people that are big Star Wars fans of all the new stuff that came out that weren't there when it started, I get it. I mean, you watch some of those Star Wars things, like the sequel trilogy, you watch them and you go, oh, these are great. But if you've never read a book, if you weren't there when those original movies, the feel of what Star Wars, Empire, and Jedi gives you, when you get done, it's like this warm feeling. And guess what? The good guy doesn't always win.
Yeah.
The bad guys win sometimes, like Kathleen Kennedy. So right now, we need somebody to pick Kathleen Kennedy up and throw her in and explode in the next Death Star at Disney Studios.
Oh man!
So we need a new era with Leia and Mon Mothma leading, with people that actually give a shit about Star Wars. So
I have a question for you, real quick. Kathleen Kennedy question. So I don't know if I read it or heard it, but the rumor is that she does not like the Old Republic stuff because it's too dark and it's too Sith heavy, and that's why she's really into the High Republic, because it's much more happy. That is all, Here,
let me stop you right there.
Okay,
that's not true. You know why she's into the High Republic?
Why?
Because she was in charge of it.
Well, there you go.
It has nothing to do. If she was in charge of the Old Republic, look at what they're making this acolyte. She wanted to make Stranger Things in space.
Yeah.
That is basically what they were pitching the idea of for the acolyte. They don't care about Star Wars. They care about making their own shit and putting their stamp on legacy, because George Lucas already has a legacy. All of us would fight to the death to defend his legacy, not literally, but we will argue to the death. maybe punch some dummy who says something the wrong way. But with that being said, who cares about what Kathleen Kennedy has done? Is there anybody that sits there like? From what I read, she can't even get a job in any other studio, so she's fighting and clawing to try to stay on at Lucasfilm.
I would too.
And she was going to try to start her own studio and have her husband help her out or something with it. And they were going to start their own sci-fi and compete with Star Wars and Star Trek and all this. You know what? You fucked up, and there's no easy way. There's no nice, delicate way. Kathleen Kennedy, you fucked up bad, Lucasfilms. You need to get out. You need to accept responsibility. Stop calling people names. Stop acting like a 2-year-old, and just get out and let somebody come in that's going to try to save it, because it needs saved. Filoni, he should have every creative decision being made. Favreau's great, but Filoni is the one that you can tell when he talks. He is a reincarnation.
He is a geek.
George Lucas is still alive. He's not dead. But he's the guy that all of us look at. When he starts talking, I start listening. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because you're going to learn something.
Yeah. And his geek level of Star Wars is thick.
His passion is like, I'll watch a Dave Filoni interview any day. Leslie Headland, I've watched a few of her interviews. You know what? If she was making a Star Trek episode, I'd be like, all right, it might be pretty good. She does not get it. All right. So this is why I'm very pessimistic about the Acolyte. Okay. This is why I think it's not going to be good Star Wars. I think it actually could even be a good series if it wasn't based in the Star Wars universe. Yeah. I think that I am hoping. Leslie Headland, let me tell you this. You don't give a shit what this gym owner. We
know you're watching.
Gym owner in Roseville thing.
With their 60 followers.
Who loves freaking Star Wars with a passion. I am keeping my fingers crossed that you make one of the best Star Wars projects ever. And I will come on here and say it if I get done watching The Acolyte after the final episode and I go, I was wrong.
I just want a lightsaber whip.
And you know what? I'm going to sit down and I'm going to give it a chance because I love Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I hope that it comes across as Star Wars on the screen. Mm-hmm. Now, you have an actor who plays a Jedi who thinks that Anakin Skywalker blew up the Death Star and killed millions of people. And tried to equivalate what the Empire did to all these planets with, Anakin. He doesn't even know that Luke Skywalker is the one who blew up the Death Star. Yeah. You know what? But I don't care about the actors. They're not the content creators.
You know how many
I care about Leslie Headland being a passionate lover of Star Wars, and I hope she is. Yeah. I really hope she is, and I hope this is great. I like the trailers to a certain extent. There's some stuff I could probably shoot some holes in. I do like the hand-to-hand combat, the more martial arts focus of it, because it is in the books. Jedi do fight hand-to-hand. They're close combat. They use blasters. They use things that they try to, like some people try to act like that's not being a pure Jedi. They will use whatever it takes in a situation. They'll throw a tree at somebody. They'll do whatever. They will even use force lightning sometimes to kill somebody, even though that's kind of considered dark side. Not in Legends.
I went down some rabbit holes that I was sending you stuff about some of the forms of fighting and why they were doing stuff, and it just made me love it even more.
Oh yeah. No, it's great. I love Star Wars. I'm looking forward to the Acolyte.
Yeah.
I have a real problem if a Sith Lord is in the Acolyte, a real Sith Lord.
Yeah.
Not a powerful dark side force user, not a Dathomiri witch, but a real Sith Lord is discovered by the Jedi, and the Jedi know about it, and they don't all die when they get killed by the Sith Lord. And somebody survives and can tell the Jedi Council that there's the Sith have returned.
And then that they're going to have to go in and remake the one with Samuel L. Jackson. We haven't seen the Sith in 17 years. 17 years.
It's been
so different.
It's been 99 years and 2 weeks since we saw a Sith. It's just, come on. You know, like I don't know. Maybe it's going to be great because you never know because they show us all these clips.
Yeah.
And these trailers, and I like the look of it. It looks like a TV series. It doesn't look like a movie, so great. That's what it is.
I know people who have seen it, and they said that it probably has the highest production value of any Star Wars show that they've put out.
I hope it. Well, did you see how much it cost?
Yeah, I heard it's a lot.
It doesn't look like a movie, but it's the cost of 180 million, I think.
Yeah. So
you know how much they put into Kenobi?
I wish they would have put in more.
And
first of all,
do you know what? I watched the whole thing about Kenobi and what they had planned and then what they did because they planned doing a Kenobi movie.
Yeah.
And not just one movie. They had a movie, and then if it did well, they were going to do a second one. They had the scripts done. It was so much better than the crap that we got. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just...
I liked it.
You just sit there and go, and you know why those things don't happen? Because of Kathleen Kennedy. People go, why do you hate her so much? Why do you even care? Because she has sabotaged Star Wars for 11 years, 12 years now, ever since Lucasfilm bought it. I don't like Bob Iger either.
Look.
You know? Do you know that there's... Anyway,
I've said
did you know this and did you know that? It's like...
I've said it a million times. Kathleen Kennedy killed me when she deprived me of having a scene of Luke, Han, and Leia all together for one scene in the trilogies. Instead, she killed them all off, and then they died in real life, and we will never get it back.
Here's
the thing I was so excited when he saw the picture for JJ where he had the old cast with the new cast. I'm like, I just want them together one time, one more. Good to see you, Luke.
Read the books because you'll get to see them all together in your mind, over and over, going through more and more adventures, going through more and more shit with their kids, families building together. But people go like, why do you dislike Kathleen Kennedy? Like people watch this, like clients, some friends. Damn, I watched it, man. You really hate Kathleen Kennedy. I go,
wait till they get to this episode.
Well, like I don't even know if it's hate. I've been bringing up just facts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These are just facts. I'm not a huge fan of Bob Iger either. I think he's allowed her to do stuff. And I also think that Bob Iger pretty much convinced George Lucas to sell to him. Mm-hmm. And it was the best way to go to get Star Wars continued and get stuff made.
Yeah.
And that they were going to be true to, because they had bought the rights to his mock-ups of what episode 7, 8, 9 were going to do. And then they set on them. And they owned them. They owned the rights to them. ABC bought them, the parent company bought them and owned the rights to them and just set on them.
Yeah.
And then it's like, hey, if you want these to get made, man, it's going to need to be under... You should really sell it underneath our umbrella, and he was friends with Iger. Iger stood up with him before. There was this, that's a long-standing story. It's been out there forever. And then all of a sudden, they sit down and have a meeting. He kind of tells them, if you want all this stuff to go forward, we can do it, and we'll do your stuff. And then what do they do? Then what do they do?
This isn't helping me.
You just saw the Mark Hamill clip talking about what they did to Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
I would hate Kathleen Kennedy just for what it's not Rian Johnson or J.J. Abrams or anybody else who screwed the Luke Skywalker character up. She did not want the Skywalkers in there. She wanted to go down her own path. Mm-hmm. If she could have pulled it off and got people to follow her, she probably would have did a bunch of High Republic movies already. That's what she wants. This is the first High Republic show that's coming out because that's her baby. And these are all her characters that she can make up and have people write up and she can approve and write the checks for. So she made Luke Skywalker instead of the Grand Master of the Jedi, one of the most powerful Jedis, if not the most powerful to ever live.
And don't forget, optimistic, hopeful, there for the friends, loyal, and turned him into a big old pussy. I'm like, no, we're just going to let it all go.
It wasn't Luke Skywalker. They basically denigrated his character.
Yeah.
And then they tried to redeem him at the end. He didn't need redeemed. There is 50 years of books written afterwards of him being a Jedi, the Grand Master of the Jedi Order, and saving the galaxy over and over again and developing Jedis and Jedi Masters. So that's why I get passionate about it, and I dislike her with a passion known to no one else pretty much, because one of the only things that besides my family, my business, what I do, what I have a passion for in life, I love Star Wars.
Yeah.
I love other things. I've been watching the Godzilla and Titan movies. I like the Halo show. I like Star Trek. I like a lot of science fiction stuff that I'm passionate about, but nothing tops Darth Father here.
You had to be there in the 70s, man. Like it was a time.
You have to like be around when George Lucas was and Mark Hamill and Hans.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was so big. It's really hard to explain to people. They'll show these things of like when the Phantom Menace came out and these lines of people. There was a non-stop line of people waiting outside theaters for weeks and weeks after the movie came out to get into those theaters.
Yes.
Think about how many theaters there are now. Well, there's less now than after COVID and you know but let's say before 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Think about how many movie theaters we had spread across this country, and think about how many we had in the 70s.
Yeah.
How many drive-ins we had. We had some, and we had quite a few of them, but it was so much more development, so many more towns, so many places that had more movie theaters now.
Yeah.
And think about how much money those movies made.
It's crazy.
But yet, Kathleen Kennedy knew better than us. And now we're male chauvinist pigs, and she's called us that over and over again, saying it's just people, it's just incels and people that sit online that are mean and nasty. Guess what? I've had a lot of sex. I am no incel. I am 51 years old. I have a grandkid.
I have not had a lot of sex, and I might be chauvinist. I don't know.
You are not chauvinist.
I am not chauvinist at all.
His wife runs the house. So
facts.
His wife. We have a hard time doing the podcast sometimes because your wife runs the schedule.
I'm not getting her mad.
So I just get so frustrated by this crap, and I just wanted to address it, and then also say I am very optimistic that that'd be wrong. I am very hopeful that the Acolyte is great and that Leslie Headland has done a great job. There's a lot of key indicators to me that say it's not going to be.
We'll know in 2 days.
It could have some episodes that are good, but other ones, it's the general feel of the whole show that's really going to matter. It's because for people that are real detail oriented like myself, I'm watching it and I'll immediately, like, something will happen and I'll hit pause and I'm like, what the fuck are they doing?
Let me go look back in Wikipedia.
No, I don't need to because I already know what they retconned. And
are we going to have like a weekly recap?
We should. We should.
The Acolyte.
So next week we'll have to we'll have to do one. I don't know what it comes out the 4th, and today's the 2nd. Tuesday night.
Yeah, it comes out Tuesday. We'll see. We have
to do something on Wednesday because I'll be out of town Thursday through Sunday.
Lame. Yeah. Well, it's summer schedule, so we're gonna have to figure out times. But we need to do Acolyte recaps because I'll have a lot of questions, and it's better me do it here instead of calling you at your house at like 10 a.m. 10 p.m.
No, dude. Hey. I get done working at night on Wednesday night. I'll come in here and I'll do a little podcast, and you'll like text me questions.
I would totally do that. Be like, what the hell just happened?
Right,
Brad, who's this guy?
Brad just text me this message about this, and he wants to know what about this crap. And I'll be like, this is the crap, bull crap, Or I'll be like, that's amazing. I loved it. Because, a lot of the stuff I've seen on the trailer, I enjoy. Like, it has no context, though.
That mysterious bad guy with the helmet.
That's the thing that I'm the most worried about is because guess what? You can't just tell a story in absentia. Yeah. Meaning, it's not just a story. It's part of a universe that has a timeline, that has hundreds of books written, comic books written, TV shows, video games, all this stuff is all there. And we know it because we love it and watch it.
We breathe it.
So you can't just, throw stuff out there and act like it's no big deal. Or take a quote from somebody and try to twist it to fit into some narrative. I think that there was some Sith found earlier because don't turn that on because it's hard to turn off. You have to sit there and hold the button forever.
Because I was going to turn this bad boy on for those only listening.
Let me jump right back in with the James Mangold thing because he came right out and said, "No, I'm not following that crap." James Mangold is a respected director. He's made some great stuff.
He made Logan, right?
He made Logan,
which is my favorite Wolverine movie. Until Deadpool.
I was so excited when I heard James Mangold was going to do Dawn of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And now he's changed the name to Jedi Prime. And he's writing his own script and writing his own stuff. And it's going to be his movie. It's not going to be this. It's going to be inside the Star Wars universe, but it's not going to be anything to do with anything that has happened before. When you come out and say that stuff, immediately people like me go, I don't really care anymore.
Yeah.
Just like I don't care about the Rey movie either. I'm not excited about the Rey movie. Now I'm no longer. So now it's down to Grogu and Mandalorian.
Even if they bring back Finn?
If they bring back Finn, I might not even go watch it.
Oh.
What a horrible character he was.
He could have been.
What a whiny little bitch he was.
He could have been so
what a quitter.
Good. Yeah. They did him. Whoever wrote those movies did him no justice.
Oh, man. Nobody liked him.
I mean.
I even liked Rey, the character, because it was, female Luke Skywalker, Yeah. But then you sit there and go, oh, she's all of a sudden just like Jedi Knight already, huh? She just absorbed into her, right?
Oh, she's just already Kylo Ren's equal.
Yeah, she's amazing. She can do all these things, and then she acts surprised. Oh, I did this. It's like you have no idea how to do that. I just thought about it and I did it.
I mean, it took Luke all those months of training in the swamp.
We could go down.
They get halfway good.
We could go down. We don't even want to start talking about it.
Maybe 4-hour pod.
Maybe Sunday we should go. All right, we're gonna sit down and watch the sequel trilogy.
Oh my god!
I never planned on ever watching it again, but maybe we should sit down and watch it again and just start taking notes.
Yeah.
Oh, did you remember this happened? Oh yeah, what a piece of shit movement that was. Oh, well, they said this on movie 2 and movie 3. They said this, and then that totally screwed up what they said in this one with what was in movie 1.
You know what you should do? I took my daughter to see Phantom Menace in a movie theater. And
I saw it in the movie theaters 3 times.
They just released it.
Again.
I know. So I took
it. And it made like $14 million in the opening weekend, more than most of the movies that were out. And you wonder why your shit doesn't sell. It's because George Lucas is the creator of these fucking movies and universe, and those weren't even that. The prequels were considered subpar compared to the originals.
But my daughter,
they were so much better than the sequels, though.
It blew her mind. She bought it all, man. She was a huge fan of Jar Jar. She was on the edge of her seat with the pod racing. Her mind was blown. Every bit. It renewed my love of the sequels, of that it's a kid movies. And I think the next time I take her to, because I think they're going to re-release all of them, right? At some point in the theaters, like the next one.
Well, let me guarantee you this.
You should come with us.
All I got to do is say one thing. It made $14 million in the opening release, re-release of it. Yeah, they're going to release the other 2 too. Yeah. Disney needs as much money as they can get, because they've been, with people like Kathleen Kennedy running it, they're just throwing it up in the air, and like people are shooting out of the air with blasters. It's disappearing. There's no money. We got to raise the rates at Disneyland. I still, until Kathleen, I was thinking about, am I going to go to Disneyland again? Because I've never seen the Star Wars stuff at Disneyland.
Oh, I'm going just for the Star Wars stuff.
Last time I went to Disneyland was in 2017, and they were building the Star Wars stuff. You could see it being built. And I was like, I really want to go back and see it. Yeah. But I'm so disheartened by what Lucasfilm has done. I don't want to. And then I have a granddaughter, maybe in 3, 4, 5 years, we might want to take to Disneyland. And I'm like going, I don't really, I'm so dismayed by what Disney has done that I'm like literally thinking about just pulling myself into the books and the original shows.
Yeah.
I even watched the crappy Ewok shows that are now on Disney Plus. They came back and put all those on. I'd rather watch those than the sequel trilogy. That stuff was manure.
I don't know. Watching the prequels with my daughter just reignited my love for it, because when I remember watching it, I'm like, this is not for me. I remember watching it in the theaters, it's okay. But Jar Jar was a little bit too heavy for me. He was too silly. But watching my daughter, that's her favorite one. She's seen the 3 originals, and she saw the first one, and that's her favorite one thus far. I mean, she was gripping during the whole thing. Oh, I think you should come with us and just watch my daughter. She was so excited.
That's what we want from. That's what George Lucas brought to the table.
Yeah. As soon as it was over,
he created a universe.
Yeah.
Kathleen Kennedy has created jack shit.
Yes. So, and then you go behind the scenes, and then I think you were telling me too, the fight with Qui-Gon, and he was the one that doomed. Anakin because he was the only one that Anakin probably would have followed and been saved by, because Qui-Gon is not as strict as some of the other Jedi and believed in love. And once he got stabbed and died, there was no saving Anakin from that point on. Like, you hear all this stuff and you get all the details, and yeah. It's like one of the happiest dad moments. And when she came out, she's like, I get it now, Dad. Like, can we watch the next one? And I'm like, well, we're going to wait for the theater. You're going to have to suffer like I did. I didn't tell her that I have like 15 versions of it at home.
Well, it's just on Disney Plus. Just
I'm going to make her wait.
What's your daughter's phone number? I'm going to text you.
No. We're going to wait in the theater, even if it's like a year, because I had to wait. She's got to have the wait. And we've watched it twice at home, and her favorite thing in the world. And when Qui-Gon got stabbed, you could hear her gasp in the theater. She was like the only one who was like, oh! And she was crying. Oh my gosh. And I was just like, yeah, just wait. Just wait.
I really wish we could have got more of Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
Like he survived just like being rid.
Like everyone survived being stabbed.
He got stabbed more in the middle. That's why.
Yeah.
Like, the other ones got stabbed in the side. I'm like, please.
I mean,
Qui-Gon was a Jedi master.
Darth Maul got cut in half. He fell down and he survived.
He turned because the dark side, they claw into life and they cling to life. Because they never want to give up their power in their life. And so they're able to keep themselves together, whatever. But the whole thing is with Qui-Gon, this guy turned down being on the Jedi Council multiple times because he didn't believe in the bullshit. And it's the same thing. Whenever you get and it's the same thing they worried about in these books. I'm reading the Jedi Council that they have back when in Luke with Cornhorn and all these, different Jedi. Seagal and all these different ones, they're worried about groupthink.
Yeah.
And we're going to become puppets for the Republic, and not all of them agreed with stuff. Yeah. Some of them just go off and say, "I'm a Jedi. I'm allowed to do what I want to do. I'm a freelancer." They don't have to follow what the council says.
Son of a bitch.
And I love that.
Yeah.
And Qui-Gon was one of those people that did not always believe what the council believed, and so he would do his own fucking thing, and he would do what he wanted. He was in a trained Anakin, whether the council approved of it or not. You know what I mean?
Oh, I like the guy whose theory was as soon as Qui-Gon died, that was the death knell in Anakin.
Yes.
He was the only one that could have saved the Anakin.
Yes.
But anyways, you and your son or somebody are going to have to join me and my daughter to go see this, because
my son doesn't even like Star Wars that much. He likes Japanese anime.
My daughter is.
He when he was younger and watched him, he liked him. It's just his thing is Japanese anime. I can't get him to watch shit. Although he did watch The Fall Guy and loved it.
I'm gonna. It's already on video on demand. I'll watch it.
Yeah, $24 to buy it, $19.99.
We got to wrap this up because we got to do another one.
Yeah. Anyway, I really hope Leslie.
On a down note,
I really hope Leslie Helen does a great job. I am mildly excited. At least we have Star Wars content coming out that we can talk about.
Yeah.
But it's coming out in 2 days.
Mm-hmm. I'll be watching it.
I hope it's great. Brad's going to get this put up today or tomorrow.
Yep.
Before it comes out.
Yep.
But I'm not optimistic, but I am willing to be wowed.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Like, I loved Andor. Andor was good. It wasn't really Star Wars-ish.
No.
It's just a well-made series. It's very possible I could say,
Rogue One was like the third best Star Wars movie ever made.
It was great, and I didn't hate the Han Solo movie was not one of my favorites, but I still didn't mind. I didn't think it was bad.
No,
I mean we got to make him. We got to see him make the Kessel
Run.
So I mean there's always good stuff about things, but to really build this franchise into something much bigger and better, they got to start following the George Lucas model. They got to stop listening to these Hollywood jackasses who only care about themselves and power. Start getting some people that believe in sci-fi, creativity, writing scripts that go along with the vision of Star Wars. And I hope, Leslie Headland, you did, and I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. And it could be possible that it could be a good series, just not a good Star Wars series. You know what I mean?
I just hope
Andor wasn't very Star Wars-ish, but it was a good series. Won awards, great actors.
I hope that they just take the word of two old white guys.
They're misogynists and who
happen to work in Roseville. One of them is a trainer at Roseville Strength and Conditioning.
Well, one of them
the other one is the
owner / trainer at Rose.
Yes, and the other one is a brilliant, good-looking bald guy. So if they would just take our word, if they hired us, imagine the billions we could do.
But even think about all the people like that are very like I watch a number of podcasts. Everyone. I go through phases where I don't watch any for a while, and then I go, I sit and I watch. Like there's one like the 40 most asked questions. This guy is making these of New Hope, then Empire, then Jedi, and he just said Phantom Menace. And I got on the string where I watched all of his stuff, and I thought it was really good. And it brings back, like, oh, I got to watch that again. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Or I never even knew that. It gives you more knowledge than what you had before. I like listening to the Star Wars Theory guy. I think he is very much along. He's not as old as us, but he's a little older.
Let me
Wikipedia when I'm like have to research something. I go on Wikipedia.
We love you, Wikipedia.
There's a lot. There's times where you go like I'm doing the show and I'm like, wait a second, what's the third form? And I'll look it up on Wikipedia. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of good resources out there and good people. But let's make Star Wars. Start making it Star Wars. Let's start following. I'm praying that Dave Filoni has real power and can do real creative control, and he is the guy who's going to take us into this next phase of Star Wars. And Bob Iger and Leslie Headland and I'm not going to put Leslie in there. I have to give her a chance. Mm-hmm. But Kathleen Kennedy, I hope Bob Iger is, and they bring people in that actually go, I want to listen to our actual customers. Yeah. The people that know more than we do actually about the Star Wars universe. I will guarantee you, I will sit down and take a quiz right now with Kathleen Kennedy on Star Wars. And I think anyone who's a real Star Wars fan would crush her, would destroy her in a quiz.
Do you think I could take her?
No, you are not a real Star. You like Star Wars. You're not a Star Wars.
I'm not a Star Wars nerd. Like my geekdom is just too broad.
Leslie Headland came out and said, there's going to be no Bane or references to Bane or whatever in this, but that she would love to bring that in more because she's a big fan of the Bane books and stuff. And I was like, I want to ask her 3 questions about those books and see if she can get one of the 3 right.
Only Bane I know broke Batman's back.
That's one of my favorite Banes.
That's
too.
Just
I was Bane for Halloween.
See, you would have made a good
I have the outfits.
Yeah,
mask in my basement.
Well, you better be Darth Vader next year.
I'm a Jedi.
Like
my father before me.
Tell them where they can find you.
Check out rosevillesc.com for all your fitness and health needs, and keep tuned to our podcast. I got some fitness podcasts that will be coming out soon.
Boom!